What's up, guys? EDA Talk Sports here, back with another match review, and this time we're going to be covering the Chelsea versus Arsenal game, a clash that meant a lot for both teams. Chelsea, who are performing above expectations, and Arsenal, who have had a tough time of it of recent. 3 points was imperative for both teams, and just as luck would have it, they would run out a 1-1 draw. It was an exciting game in parts, slightly boring in parts, but I think both teams gave a good account of themselves. Chelsea, who again last season didn't perform to the level that they expected to, finishing 8th this season, are performing much better, seem to have a lot better team cohesion and a lot of a better direction from Maresca. They came into this game, I would say the first 15 minutes or so, just pretty much dominating the ball. We couldn't really get a sniff on it in the first 15 minutes, and there was nothing really noteworthy. Chelsea looked more threatening. They hot shots. They had a lot more shots towards Ray, as you can see by the 17 shots that were accounted for. A lot of those, I think, came quite early on, and Arsenal found their way into the game. They built momentum as they continued, and the first sign of that momentum was an opportunity for Martinelli around the 20th minute, one that I think he should have put away. The ball comes across the box, finds him, and the finish is relatively poor. He does make up for it later, as you can see. He finds himself on the score sheet, but at that moment it was very disappointing. Following on from that, there was an offside goal for Arsenal. Kai Havertz was marginally offside before finishing off a pass from, I believe, Martin Odeggard. And again, good impetus by Arsenal, having those spurts and trying to get that goal. However, he was offside, no issue there. And Arsenal had to continue to try and find a way, but that got the crowd up. Chelsea bounced back a little bit after seeing that disallowed goal, and we went into half time with pretty much things as even as they could be. Chelsea were dominating the ball, Arsenal were looking to counter, Chelsea were looking to limit those counter opportunities, and Arsenal were looking to make that dominance, that domination of possession that Chelsea had, essentially futile. And so coming into the second half, again, key moments for Arsenal, Chelsea, and this was the Gabriel Martinelli goal. A lot of huffing and puffing from both teams. Chelsea looked dangerous coming out of the second half, but Arsenal quickly established their dominance, and it was a ball from Martin Odeggard, that little bit of a spark that Arsenal have been missing. We talk about creativity, and I still think with all the chances that Arsenal have had, they could have scored, but they still do need to create more. And the creative nature of Odeggard, not only in his passing but in his pressing. We haven't won the ball up the pitch as high as we did, as many times as we did this game, and so that was super impressive from him. And I really enjoyed his performance in that aspect, in terms of creating and finding that key to unlock the Chelsea defence. And it was a brilliant ball over Saka, Martinelli in the same area. Martinelli finds a near post shot past Sanchez, and really, if that was my goalkeeper, I'd be very, very annoyed. No way you should be getting beat from there, but Martinelli makes up for his previous mistake. Overall, his performances, which we'll cover the performances in general, I thought was okay, but if I'm being super critical, that clinical nature needs to be there. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. And after that goal, it looked like Arsenal were in a commanding position until out of nowhere, in my opinion, as I was watching that, you couldn't really see, and maybe Arsenal got too comfortable thinking, 1-0, we've seen multiple 1-0 wins, this should be fairly standard, let's just stay solid, compact. That wasn't the case. A little ball from Enzo Fernandez, who had come on for Lavia, found its way into Neto, and Neto reached a strike, a decent strike, a good strike. But for me, it's one where I expect Arsenal, before even the strikes let off, to do a lot better. Chelsea found it too easy to receive the balls in those in-between spaces, and they took advantage, and Arsenal found themselves 1-1. And I think the emphasis, again, was on Arsenal. They're the team that want to win the title. They're the team that want to take the game further, and they were huffing and puffing. It didn't really amount to too much until the end. A couple of moments to call out, specifically the last moment, which was a ball down on the left wing, which was crossed in, and Trossard got a touch on it instead of leaving it for Kai Havertz. There's suspicions that Saliba would have been offside, who he was the one that played it in off the left wing, which is saying all you need to know. But again, I think for me it was very disappointing to see that in the last minute not go in the back of the net and not be a goal. I think Arsenal needed those 3 points. But again, it's going to be a long season. There's a lot for Arsenal to reflect upon in terms of player performances and team performances. From an Arsenal perspective, great to see Odegaard back. Captain shined when he needed to shine. It wasn't his best performance. He'll find his feet. And White, I think, did pretty well against Neto, but Neto wasn't looking to be overly threatening. Timber as well, I think, had a decent job against Madueke. Jackson was mainly nullified by Gabriel and Saliba, apart from the occasional foul. Martinelli with the goal was okay. Saka couldn't really get the best of Cucurella as many times as you would expect. Kai Havertz was decent again. No one really made himself stand out. I think for me it's quite funny. I think Timber was excellent as a defender. I think Ben White played really well. David Raya, the back four, shine for me. From a Chelsea perspective, Neto with the goal, however, I thought he wasn't overly threatening. Cole Palmer was missing. Nico Jackson wasn't overly impressive. Noni Madueke had little moments here and there, but nothing too special. Caicedo was one of Chelsea's best players. His aggression was the difference in a lot of the battles and duels which we're seeing in the midfield. Colwell was quite poor in my opinion. So was Sanchez. Gusto had his moments again, but yeah, no real standout performances. It was a bit of a in-between game, a middling game. Arsenal couldn't get the 3 points, unfortunately. However, undefeated away from home against a top team and a team who's impressed this season. They need to build on this. They need to find confidence, and they're going to need to go on a run like they did last season. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.